another edition of Arrows Up, one of our favorite segments, I would say, of the week, but it's really of the year. This has been one of our greatest finds. I think the real torture is that, you get to know these guys, you get to understand how good they are, and then also the kind of people they are. And there was nothing I was looking forward to more than watching them actually play in the pitch here in Toronto. And of course, we know what happened with the rest of the world, so it didn't happen, but it hasn't slowed them down any. The attitude is unbelievable, just so strong. And Kolby Francis joins us now here this morning. How you doing, Kolby?
Good. How are you, Mike? Thanks for having me.
You know what? I'll tell you why you're welcome on the show. First of all, you play for the Harlequins.
Yep.
Outstanding. As someone said, they're nice outfits. Yeah, don't call them outfits. You're not going to go very far with that. But
No.
Beauty, the jerseys are beauty, and also University of Guelph.
Yeah, University of Guelph. Yep.
Yep. Not Western.
There last August.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's outstanding because, as you know, Western not welcome on the show.
Yeah, Pete Milazzo, see you later.
Yeah, sorry, Pete. Pete's out. Pete's out. I know people are shocked by that, but he's hey, not everyone makes the team. Yeah, that's right.
Honestly.
You are 23, is that correct?
Yeah,
are you
23
years of age, 6'5", 255. You are a number 8 or the 8th man.
Yep.
And so the one thing about educating people who don't, I mean, a lot of people who are watching this, and we'll see it later on today and listening on the radio here this morning.
Yeah.
If they're rugby people, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those who are uninitiated but want to get out and see you guys, explain to them, for instance, where you would be, where you're positioned as the 8th man.
Okay, so as the 8th man, I'm the last person in the scrum, and my responsibility is to get the ball to the back of the scrum for the 9 to play it smoothly. Or if it comes to the back of the scrum and I see an opportunity, I can take it and basically run with it. So basically, I just have to hold the ball at the back just for the scrum have to get ready. And if I don't do a good job, I'll get yelled at by either Carps or Jamie McKenzie or Andrew Ferguson. So,
well, and the one thing is because you provide weight at the back for that extra push.
Yeah.
But the reality is, even at your size, you're going to see the ball a lot. Like, you've got to be able to handle the ball.
Yeah. As a number 8, that's probably one of the characteristics that stand out the most is probably your ball running ability. So for a good number 8, if you can run the ball really well and you're defensively active, you should be good on the field.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, athletic, probably played multiple sports. Massive size too. Was football ever a consideration when you were growing up, Kolby, or when did you make that big sprout to 6'5"? Because you just don't do that overnight.
Honestly, yeah. I honestly have one game of high school football underneath my belt, and that was it. I tried one game, and it just didn't work out. Like the stops and starts, I just wasn't into it.
Really?
People ask me all the time. Yeah. I'd rather just go all the time, like 80 minutes consecutively.
Because you scream tight end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
people honestly tell me to send highlight tapes, but I think it's too late to convert. Those football guys can convert to rugby. I don't think I can convert to football.
Now, what about hockey? I mean, you're obviously from obviously a hockey playing area. Was hockey part of your background too, I'm guessing?
Yeah. I played hockey growing up. Tried to chase my dad's footsteps. He got drafted to the Montreal Canadiens.
Wow.
So I always tried to chase that. But then once hockey ended, I think it was the minor midget draft, my high school rugby coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, I don't think hockey's going to work out. I think you'll be better in rugby." And it's been that ever since.
Said every coach on any team. Always. I don't think that other thing is going to work out for you.
Honestly. And when you're 15 and you're with all your best friends and you just see a teacher come and tell you that, it's pretty embarrassing, but it worked out. So it was all good.
Yeah, it certainly did. Hey, tell us about your path to Guelph, first of all, kind of taking you down through your rugby career and so forth. It almost seems that University of Guelph is a massive foundation of some of the best rugby players in the province, if not the country. How did your path get to Guelph, and tell us more about that?
So I think it was my grade 12 year. I was in a high school tournament in Guelph, and the coach prior to Corey Hector, who was our attack coach and academy coach now, was Daryl Devine and Phil Murphy. And I was in a tournament in Guelph, and they came up to me and were like, "Hey, are you interested in playing rugby at the university level?" And I was like, "Oh, like I'm actually going to Carleton for pre-law. I wasn't even thinking about playing rugby."
Oh, wow.
And they came up to me and were like, "No, like I think you should like pursue rugby at the university level." And then I went for a visit. I met the captains, Jeremy Wright and Eric Pekeski, and then I was sold ever since. The campus was awesome. It was small, just like Brantford, so I felt really at home. And it was honestly probably the best feeling I got walking through the university, and I saw the program and I saw all the guys, and I just thought it was a perfect fit for me, and clearly it was. Yeah, they helped me a lot throughout my rugby career because I only started in grade 12, and then that summer I was with the Ontario Senior Blues team. So
Well,
it was pretty quick.
the you're surrounded by some pretty good people, and of course the giant Van Horns. Now are they part of this process? I understand you're looking maybe to be a firefighter as well. Are they helping out?
Yep. Yeah. Ever since I went to Guelph, they've been basically like big brothers to me. They've been helping me a lot, driving me to practice when I need it. They've been like awesome. And Josh, as a firefighter, he's been grooming me through the ranks. So when rugby's over, I have a plan B to fall back on. And that's basically my main priority, is to have everything I can from when the game's done, just so I can focus on that career afterwards.
Now you have scored tries, and I'm just curious. Do you have something like Dan does, like Danny when he does the arrow thing?
Arrows, no. Actually, the first game in Austin, Aaron Carpenter said if we throughout the whole year, if we score like a set piece try, we get a milkshake afterwards. So I'm pretty sure there's a video of me scoring a try from a set piece, and I was just yelling milkshakes.
Milkshake, the milkshake. I didn't realize that was that's a thing.
Yeah, it's just a treat for the forwards, just to get the job done. Just a little carrot in front of them.
Absolutely. Count me in on that one.
His wallet when he has to shell out a few bucks.
Hey, let's talk more about the firefighter aspect of it. Where are you as far as training to be a firefighter? Because I know that takes some schooling. Then it's a number of tests and interview stages. Where are you roughly in that development?
So right now, I just started at a school just near Brantford called Southwest Fire Academy, and your first portion is online, but you can go in and write your tests inside the facility. But due to COVID, everything's online, and then once they open, you can go there and write your tests and be there. And just like they have days where they take you through everything you need, and they break it down in 4 days. So I could go there 4 days a week and learn everything, and then you are through a 2-week boot camp, and then you're basically done. So your first portion's online, and then you have a 2-week boot camp that you live there, and they simulate day-to-day fire stuff, and then that's basically it. So right now I'm just starting the online portion. So I figured probably I should graduate around August. Be done this around August. So just a nice little summer project just to keep busy.
We're in conversation with Kolby Francis here on Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards. Now, the one thing I know about athletes, especially when you get off to the start of the season that you had, which was really remarkable, doing that on the road the way that you did it, and then it stops, right? So when you're that competitive, especially in a sport like this, like you're used to routine. Every week is out there, and part of that is cracking on guys. When you had that taken away from you, what did that feel like? Because that's very, very difficult to all of a sudden just stop.
Yeah, honestly, when we got the word that the season got canceled, it was pretty heartbreaking because I knew like what we could have achieved, and just having that what if in your mind, I think that always just plays through. So you just got to keep your mind busy. The boys have a Xbox. We have a very loyal group called the Search Kings. So we're always talking to each other on that every night. So that kind of helps bypass the time. But I'm sure everyone on the team feels the same, that those what ifs set in, and then that's basically it. Yeah.
So you're a gamer, right?
I'm more like the general manager. I'm not very good, but I'm just there for the team morale, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Well, the attitude, as I said, on the team is outstanding. I think, sort of what you said there is, as an athlete, you just find ways to get an edge. Now, if you watch, I don't know if you saw Michael Jordan's Last Dance.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah,
it was brilliant. And I said, people of all walks of life even if you're an accountant, should probably watch what he does in order to, I would say, achieve a level of excellence. Dave and I just loved it, and we always liked Michael Jordan, but now we like him like
even more.
More.
Yeah.
Even like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, you just grow that much more towards them just because you see it firsthand.
It was brilliant, but the thing that you also take away from it as a athlete who wants to win, he would find an angle, whether it was or a motivation. Sometimes that wasn't even true. You know, he'd talk about something that a guy said. You know, the coach said this, a player said this, and then it turns out it never happened. It was never said. In his mind,
really?
he found stuff to increase his ability to be excellent. And I think if I'm looking at this team, so what was it, 5-1 when you guys were finally, was it what the record was? 4-1 after 5 games? So 4-1.
4-1.
And you get hauled.
Yeah.
You get hauled in, get stopped. I'm taking that. If I'm calling it anger or the things that you just talked about, I'm putting that in a suitcase.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that with me into that next season. I think you're all going to do that. I seriously think you're all doing that.
Yeah. The boy, we talk about it. Everyone's training. Everyone's working hard during the off season. Now that we have that much more of extended off season, I think the guys are starting to graft a lot and use this time on their own, so that when we eventually do come together, we'll just be that further ahead of the program.
You know what, speaking of that, okay, so I know obviously the guys, and you haven't been just sitting around doing nothing over the last 3 months, 2 months, whatever it has been. You kind of lose track of time in that. But now that restrictions are starting to lift, has there been any talk about getting maybe a group of 5 together like they do on the ice in hockey, they've been doing in other sports? Have you heard anything about that as far as the Arrows are concerned?
For the policy, I think once we get the go-ahead, I think we are going to do a small group training. So just like you said, like 5 or 6 people, but the timeline of that, I'm not too sure. But there is a plan. So then when it happens, everyone's together and then we can go forward and practice maybe twice a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's still around. So it's better than not playing rugby, getting your hands on the ball and working on technique.
Because most of the guys, they're still in the city for the most part. Like even some of your imports, like we were talking to Tommy a couple weeks back, he's still in the city as well. He's not back in Argentina. So I mean, you guys are relatively close.
Yeah. There's Tommy, Taylor Adams, and Leandro Leves and Giuseppe Tatois. They're in Toronto right now. Usually they spread after the season, but they love Toronto so much. They love the city that they wanted to stay, and the Arrows were more than happy to host them for the summer.
I know we're almost out of time because these segments go way too fast, but there is one thing that will upset me if something has changed on this roster. And can I share that right now?
Yeah, for sure.
If Andrew has changed his hairstyle, if Quatrin has changed his hairstyle, I'm going to be very upset. It's outstanding what he has done with his hair.
It's like a work of art, honestly. Every couple of months, he's got a new hairdo. It honestly suits him. The mullet suits him. The mutton chop suit him. Anything he does, it suits him, man. He's a class guy too, so it just works out even better.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're talking about facial hair, that mustache is killer.
Thank you.
How long are you keeping that once we are kind of free and clear? Are you getting rid of everything else?
Honestly keep it, yeah.
Maintain it, man.
About keeping it, yeah. I usually have a beard, so when I shaved it off, I was like, I cannot have a facial hair. So then I just stuck with a mustache, and people actually like it. It's growing on me in the process, so it'll be fine.
See?
It's very Harry Reams. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Look it up.
Okay.
It might be upsetting, just so you know.
All right.
Maybe not be good, Kolby. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. As I said, boy, we're just such fans of your teammates. You're just another great example of also the Blues program here in Ontario that is just outstanding. And I think that the future is very, very bright. Once we get through this weird pandemic / global plague, whatever you want to call it, when life gets back to normal, part of that normal is people coming out to watch you guys play. And you can count on us too, because we're huge fans.
For sure. And that's awesome. The community has been awesome. They've been reaching out saying they want rugby. And once rugby comes up, hopefully we can perform for you guys.
Well, that I have no doubt. And I see that Winokur got away with not getting any shots whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true.
I've stayed away from
Winokur. I know. See, I know you did.
I want a job next year. So nice side.
Kolby, you take care. We'll talk to you and see your teammates again real soon. We appreciate it.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Have a good day, guys. Thank you for having me.
That is Kolby there joining us here. Kolby Francis, Arrows Up, which is, again, just a brilliant segment. We just love it. And each and every week at 8:10 on Wednesday, we do that.